Ho ho!
Tomorrow we have one of the most anticipated matches of every season, Athletic Club versus Real Madrid at San Mamés. How is Real Madrid approaching tomorrow's match?
Good afternoon. Well, as you said, it's a classic in La Liga, in Spanish football, and there's always a great atmosphere at San Mamés. It's always a stadium where you have to play with a lot of energy, with a lot of concentration, keeping in mind past experiences and knowing how you need to approach it. That's why tomorrow we have a very good opportunity at San Mamés, and we're going for it.
I'd like to know what conclusions you drew from the meetings you had. What does the coaching staff need to improve to find the right formula for this Madrid?
No, these are things we talk about: football, the dressing room, the unity we need, what things we have to improve to be more consistent in our play. That's what concerns us, both the players and the coaching staff. How we can improve, how we can break this run in the league and start winning away from home again. That's why tomorrow we have a very good opportunity at San Mamés, and we're going for it.
Toni Kroos just said that Real Madrid has the squad to win titles and that you're still in that initial period where you need to adapt to the club and the players. Do you miss having a player like Toni Kroos for his qualities?
Well, Toni has great experience in football and has lived through all kinds of moments at Real Madrid above all. He knows the club very well, he knows the players very well, he knows the level of demand. So these are processes, moments, and what matters is how we face them, right? Whether it's good moments or not so good moments, we must have conviction and confidence in ourselves. I have full confidence in the team, and right now, in the short term, our focus is tomorrow's match.
I wanted to ask you about Bellingham. We asked about Jude Bellingham the other day, and you told us he always wants to improve. You spoke about his environment, football-wise, I imagine, what we see on the pitch, but we don't see him with the joy of his first season when he was unstoppable. At San Mamés, he made his official league debut, scored 2 goals, and started an amazing run. But we don't see that joy in him right now.
Well, I'm with him day to day, and I see him well. I see him motivated. Obviously, he shares the same feeling as all the players and everyone in the team. After not winning, you're not happy. The demands here are very high, the responsibility as well, and Jude is part of that. We all need to help each other, and we need to help Jude so that he's happy and performing at his best level.
You were speaking about the demands at Real Madrid. I wanted to ask you, when you hear people on the outside talking, especially around the club, that alternatives for Madrid's bench are already being discussed, especially if you don't win tomorrow or lose badly. Also, do you believe the club should consider reinforcing the squad in January?
These are not questions for me. My job is tomorrow's match, preparing with the team. We know the moment we're in this season. There's still a long way to go. We've played, I don't know, just over a third of the league. Everything is close. There are many matches left, many points to play for. A lot can still change. And the short term is tomorrow, Bilbao, winning at San Mamés to get back that feeling of winning away from home. It's been difficult for us, but that's the reality. Still, we can do it tomorrow.
Do you have the feeling that some people may be starting to doubt you? And what would you say to those who might doubt you, considering you've only been in charge a little over 100 days this season?
Well, we are where we are in the table, both in La Liga and in the Champions League. We live with the demands and the criticism. That's inherent to Real Madrid and to any football club. But we know where we are. So we stay focused on what we can control, working, improving, and winning matches so that later, in April, May, we can be where we want to be, competing and hopefully enjoying everything.
I don't know if you've spoken again with the president after Athens, whether he has given you even more reassurance, and if you think your job is on the line tomorrow.
Yes, I've spoken again, and the conversations have been very positive in a good tone with the desire to turn results around. That's what we talked about.
Jude and Arda played together against Barca and Valencia before this slight downturn in results. What changes have you seen in the midfield and in their partnership in attack especially? Have you noticed any problems that weren't there before? And what solutions might help them be truly complementary since that seems to be the main debate about the midfield right now.
No, as you said, after the Barca match and after the Valencia match, probably the people who now have doubts or are asking these questions wouldn't have asked them back then, right? After those two games and that good run, the team in general has lost a bit of quality in our play, a bit of energy, and we're all affected by it. All the players are affected. But they can play together. They have played well together and they will play together again.
The team has pressed less, pressed worse, and recovered fewer balls in the opponent's half in the last matches. Why do you think the players have declined in that aspect? And is the plan to improve the pressing and become as aggressive as in the first games, or are you considering changing the way you play?
No, the players are clear about what they want, what we can do, and how we can improve it. There's organization and there's intensity, energy to be able to do it. Without organization, it's impossible, and that's something we need to work on. And yes, the other day, the first half compared to the second was very different in that regard. In the second half, we improved a lot, and that's why we created more chances. Then we couldn't score that second goal, but everything comes down to having that conviction and controlling both the defensive and offensive sides. If you don't defend well, you won't attack well, and if you don't attack well, you won't defend well.
In these months you've been working with the squad, has your view changed regarding what you thought you could expect or get out of them compared to what you imagined before coming here, or what you saw from a distance? Has the day-to-day changed that?
Of course. You keep changing, learning, updating, sharing details, sharing ideas. This worked well, this we can correct. So it's not a fixed idea, it's not a still picture. It's a dynamic picture, one that keeps evolving. Matches guide you a lot, what players are feeling, what they're doing well, what we can improve, or what things aren't working.
After everything Gonzalo showed, especially in the Club World Cup, I wanted to ask if you think you're not making the most of him.
Well, without a doubt, the level Gonzalo showed in the Club World Cup was spectacular. He was performing at a very high level, scoring goals, and now, well, he's not getting all the minutes he probably deserves. But in the Club World Cup, Kylian wasn't there. Now, during the league, Kylian is here, and he's also performing at an exceptional level. And Gonzalo, he's very intelligent. He knows where he is, he knows the squad, he knows the demands, and he's always ready. And we need him.
You mentioned the consistency of energy in the team's play, which has not been seen in the last games. Do you think that largely depends on the players' attitude, that they need to give a bit more?
Well, the schedule is demanding for us and for all teams, and maintaining a 100% energy level all the time is difficult, but we can definitely improve it. The pressing triggers, the recovery runs, that consistency, being more regular. And that also comes from when you have a good feeling. Trying to say, today we have it, tomorrow we don't, is difficult. Those are sensations you feel on the pitch, and when the team is flowing, you tend to have more of them. We want to reach that point. It's fundamental. And knowing you won't always have it and trying to get it back, that's where we are right now.
Yesterday, we learned that Ronald Araujo is stepping aside for an indefinite period due to mental health. It's normal, yet still uncommon today, and 30 years ago it would have been almost impossible. What do you think about this happening? And after so long in football, do you feel the sport is evolving in this aspect?
Well, above all, you have to respect the feelings and needs of the players, right? They're not machines, they're people. In every environment, there's a lot of demand and a lot of responsibility. And if they've decided that, if it's for the good of the player, then it seems logical to me.
I wanted to ask you about Rodrygo. He works hard, he trains well, he gets the opportunities, but things just aren't going his way. He can't recover his best football, the best version we've seen from him. How do you help a player in a situation like this, in a bad run?
By trusting him, waiting, knowing that football changes with one action, one goal. A player's emotional state is very important. And Rodrygo has the quality. He has played matches and others where he couldn't play more because competition here is very demanding. but nobody doubts his ability. He has a great attitude, a great mindset, and we're waiting for him. I think he just needs that good feeling through actions, a good match, a goal, to break out of this moment he's in.
Going back to Toni Kroos's comments, he said earlier that talking about what Madrid used to be, his Madrid, Modric's Madrid, that midfield, doesn't really help. Do you feel that for your project that becomes a kind of burden? And to what extent does this midfield condition Xabi's idea of his Madrid, since it's clearly a very different midfield from what there was before?
No, I think we have a squad that's broad enough and good enough to compete. We're where we are. It's December. We've just entered the month. November clearly didn't go as we would have liked, but I fully trust the quality and personality of this group to play well and have chances to fight for everything in April, in May, when it matters and when we want to be in a good moment to compete for everything.
I wanted to ask about Kylian Mbappé. He already has 53 goals in 2025. How do you explain that a player making history individually hasn't been able to translate that into collective success? Ballon d'Or, league titles, Champions League.
Well, he's completed one full season here in Madrid, and last year, well, you know how it ended. And this year, we're 3 months in, and he's delivering a very high individual performance, helping the team a lot. The team, in both the league and the Champions League, you know where we are. So we'll see at the end of the season. But as I've said, it's not just Kylian's goals, even though that's the most important part. He does many other fundamental things: leadership, influence, helping teammates, and that's very important in the day-to-day.